Good afternoon, everybody, or whatever time of day it is when you're watching this. It's Todd, Alpha India 4 Tango Bravo, and I am up in the Northeast today. I was presenting at Boston College yesterday and this morning. It's early afternoon and I got done. Unfortunately, right now the entire area is under flash flood warnings, so I was kind of thinking I might not be able to get out and enjoy nature and activate a park. Fortunately, I figured, wait a second, let's just go find the POTA sites that are nearby, go to their web pages, and see if any of them have a pavilion. Because even if it's raining, it's probably dry under the pavilion. So I found a park. And yeah, I'm bright. I couldn't even tell you what it is right now. Anyway, it says it has a pavilion. I drove into the parking and didn't see a pavilion anywhere, and the second half of the driveway was blocked off, but I figured it's probably in here somewhere. So I grabbed my gear and just heading down the trail, see if I can actually find it. And yeah, worst case scenario, you can watch some stupid middle-aged guy get lost on trails he doesn't know, because you kind of come to those forks in the road. One goes that way, one goes that way. Well, I'm never right, so I'll go left. Oh, actually, I don't know if you can see it through the trees. I see something that looks kind of out in that general area. I see something that looks like a roof. So hopefully that's the pavilion. Also during the week, I figured it's going to be kind of quiet. So that'll be nice. It's actually a beautiful property too. Last weekend, I was with some other hams in Arizona, and we got to activate there, got to play in the fire tower. So we all got to channel our inner 12-year-olds, which was a lot of fun. And I had all my gear, and I came straight to Boston from Phoenix before going back to Florida. So I was like, I should be able to find a place to activate. And then the weather went south. Yep, that's definitely a pavilion. That will do the job. Yeah, this is way back from the parking areas, so it's also a Thursday afternoon, and it's raining everywhere. Fortunately, the cover here does help, but yeah, raining everywhere, so I would imagine should be kind of quiet for me today. So anyway, yeah, what am I going to do? I'm not even sure. I do still have the zBitx with me, and that was actually a lot of fun to play with in Arizona, so we might, I might set that up and see what's happening on the bands, because I'm in the Northeast, so yeah, anything like kind of NVIS or even more local shouldn't be too hard to get a hold of. Yeah, great trees, battery options. This is my favorite thing about QRP. These two batteries are all I ever need to take with me anywhere I go. That's very useful. All right, so I just went ahead and grabbed this spool antenna. Just got a loose bungee around a tree, not squeezing, but narrow enough so that it can't slide down any further than it is. That's about 5-6 feet up. And it's actually going over the pavilion to that tree about right there. That's where it's at. So I'm probably 35 feet up on that side. So if you look, when I'm going to do this, I'm not running a counterpoise from this end fed, but what I do is if I'm not running a counterpoise, the ABR, I run that over and I put the choke on the radio end of the cable. So then, yeah, the shield acts as a counterpoise. I'm running 5 watts. It really doesn't care. If I were running something with its own counterpoise, I would have the choke at the antenna end so that it wasn't using the coax shielding. So, all right, antenna set up. I'll go grab my radio. The zBitx has the little 2-cell 18650 attachment that goes right here, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. I didn't see any reason for it to have to be attached. So all I did was I grabbed a 4-cell, and so I'm running series in parallel, right? So I've got 2 up and 2 down, maintaining the voltage, doubling the capacity. And yeah, I ran that in, where were we? Arizona, and it worked. So we're gonna see what it does in Boston. I kind of like it. I like the separation because I can have 2 of these packs up. And what I plan to do is I ordered some 2S BMSs. So I'm going to take these because I did like the way it's working. I'll keep the portable pack so I can just throw cells into it. But I do have a spot welder for making batteries. So I'm going to make a couple of packs like this. It'll take 3 minutes to make the packs. So I ordered, I think, I had to buy a minimum of 10. So I got 10 2S BMSs. So I got plenty to make this. There we go. So 2 components for this for the drive, right? You have obviously audio output, but that really is only the volume. If it's oversaturated, yeah, dropping the IF, like right now, IF set 94, I drop that down and it actually cleans up everything. I don't know, yeah, you aren't gonna be able to see it, but it literally does, it cleans up absolutely everything. So if you look at my signal, you can see it's actually cleaning up a lot of the background noise because I had it just set way too sensitive. So I dropped that down and that's good to go. I will do a video if anybody wants. I don't know, one person asked the message, they saw that my CQ call actually said CQ POTA, and they said, where do you set that? Unfortunately, in the UI for doing settings, I'll actually make a video showing the process, but in the UI, there's no way to do that. It's using the macro setup from N1MM, so you could actually attach this to a PC, or I'm sorry, to a monitor, keyboard and mouse attached to it. You can go in and edit that file. And I've got a few that I've made, so I will, when I get back to Florida and get actually attached to a monitor, I will go ahead and do that process and post that up here so people can see that if anybody wants to see how to do it. See what we got here. So just checking, again, I've got the spool antenna hooked up, running FT8. Just started calling CQ POTA. Just wanted to see what we had. I did preset the grid square so that people would not think I was somewhere else. I think I was in DM44 in Arizona. So yeah, if I was trying to call that from Boston, that would be a little confusing. So, all right, let me grab the rest of the stuff from my other table and bring it over here, and we'll get on the air and try a few things. Yeah, there is an issue. If you're in bright sunlight, this screen is unreadable. But if you're in shade, like I am right now, it's nothing to see it. That was me trying to focus, so I apologize if it was out of focus. I'm using a Pocket 3, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So this ought to be really interesting. So, I'll let it run a couple CQs, and then I'll give it a break. Just look around. Oh, there you go. Got a response already. So, as you can see, I'm running between 4 and 5 watts. I'm using the same battery pack that I did an entire activation in Arizona with, have not recharged any of it, and it's still at 7.7 volts. So, yeah, I'm kind of impressed with this. I think I'm going to make some packs that I can take with it so I can, wrap them up so they look decent. My only concern is going out into the, or traveling with that, with a self-made wrapped battery. I don't know if that's going to be a hassle at all. So I'll always have 4 cells that I'll just take with me, individual. So if I do lose a pack, it doesn't completely negate my ability to operate. Ames Knoll State Park, that's where I am. US 2416. So one of the things I like to do when I'm going to be taking a radio out that I don't know, and I'm going to try things with that I don't know if they're actually going to work, before I spot myself with this radio doing something new, I'm just gonna hunt and see what I can actually accomplish, see what's possible, instead of, like, if there's 0% chance of me having contact with somebody in a mode on this radio, I'm not gonna spot myself and have everybody go there try to hunt me. First, I'll hunt some other people and see what I can get. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm just gonna pop open the app and see what we've got on Sideband that I possibly might be able to get in touch with. So let's go find, let's get rid of the ones that are QRT and see what we got here. I don't know if conditions are really bad. I never look. I don't really care what the stuff says. I'm going to come out here anyway. It's gorgeous. Nowhere else I need to be. My flight leaves in 6 hours. I'm just going to hang out here for a few hours. So oddly enough, 40 meters, anytime I go anywhere, it's still loud. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff happening on the FT8. It's always the noisiest band for me at home. I get here, and 20's insanely noisy, and 40's like virtually dead quiet. That's very interesting. Interesting enough, yeah, I don't have a mic. I bought some K6ARK mics, a couple of them at Hamvention. As soon as I got home, I had to go to Israel. I've been there twice since, so I have not had a chance to build anything. So we'll see what we get. Yeah, I'm guessing it's not good when I see this many spots that are FT8, 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 FT8. Lots going on 20, nothing going on 30, nothing going on, or very little going on 40. Yeah, about 50 spots for FT8. Holy cow. Yeah, I'm gonna take that as the band conditions aren't great. I might just have to call CQ. So one of the things that, there's limited filtering that you can really modify on here. So for me, the best way to get rid of extraneous noise is just change the bandwidth. That's like the closest thing I think I got in here to a notch filter. I might just have to call CQ. Slow scan TV. Pop where it looks quiet and see if it allows you to transmit. I have to bring it closer because the mic is up in the top left corner. So we'll see how this goes. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo. I expect nothing here, but what are we going to do, right? All right, I just put up a spot. This will be interesting. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. And I'll make a few calls. If it doesn't go anywhere, I'll switch to 4D and try that. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. Using an internal mic on this, yeah, I've never even heard it. So I was hoping to avoid this. I wanted to try to hunt somebody, and so I could at least get how absolutely terrible does it sound. Guess we'll find out this way. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. Yeah, with my luck, there's a solar storm, and here's me cramming my majestic 4 watts through that speaker. Or that microphone, it'll be good. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Parks on the air. I got S9 noise. CQ Park's on the air, CQ Park's on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo in Park US 2416, calling CQ for Park's on the air. Go ahead, Park to Park. I have Kilo Alpha 0 Alpha. It totally faded out at the end. If you could just give me the whole call 4 times. 4 times. I have Kilo Alpha 0 Alpha. Well, apparently somebody could hear me. Nothing heard. Let's try that again in a bit. See if the bands come back up. My noise is plus 20. So this is why people do FT8, huh? I never do sideband. I prefer CW, but I want to try everything with this radio, even the things I don't normally do. I apologize. There's probably a lot of that noise coming through this microphone, so I apologize for that. I'll try to filter it out. CQ Park's on the air, CQ Park's on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park US 2416, calling CQ for Park's on the air. CQ Park's on the air, CQ Park's on the air. Alpha India 4, Tango Bravo at Park Kilo wow. I'm old. US 2416, calling CQ for Park's on the air. Stretch it out if they can't hear you. Maybe somebody will slide by while you're making absolutely no sense. That's my secret. It's not a very good one. This is how to be 75 and act like you're 12. Right there. Now, let's just, for just a minute, I really have a question. Leave it in the comments if somebody can answer this question. What is the emptiness in one's life that makes that gratifying? I mean, what about that makes you feel better about being you? If somebody could explain it to me, I would love to understand, but I just can't even begin to imagine. Oh, poor soul. I think I'm going to do CW. That's the reason I don't do SSB. I'm not impatient, I'm just impatient. So I'm going to go grab a key and we'll set it up and we'll do some CW on this thing, see how that goes. I don't know what's going on here. This is an interesting one. It's almost like the receiver engages while this transmitter is still going. It's like the break-in is not quite working the way it's supposed to. I guess I could try to change the delay, but here's what I'm hearing when I try to call CQ. Well, actually, I'll call QRL. I just came to this frequency. Yeah, you hear that? Obviously, there's not somebody else there. And it's missing the, yeah, you hear that? So it's like the receiver is engaging before the transmitter is done sending. I don't know. I could try to change the delay, see if that helps. That's not it. Let's try that. Let's go extreme. See what happens. Okay, that did it. That's obviously too long. Let's reduce that to 400 milliseconds. We can probably get the speed back up now. No, let's. Yeah, nope, that's not gonna work. All right, so that takes CW with this rig out of the question for now. What we can do, when all else fails, I can pop it up to FT8. Let's verify my SWR. So with the rain happening out there, it's bouncing around, but not as bad as I would have thought. The highest it's popping to while transmitting is 1.4 and settling down to 1.1. We'll take it. Boom, boom. Completed that queue. So let me turn this down because that noise will make a sane person go crazy. Awesome. So a couple of things that I would actually like to see different. I would rather have the waterfall once you're actually in FT8 and calling, or someone's responding to you. At that point, in my mind, you could replace the waterfall. It doesn't need to take half the screen because it doesn't mean anything. What would have far more value to me would be if it actually allowed this other half of the window to be the calls that you're calling or that are responding to you. You know, because when it's over here, it just all goes so fast. You can't even see what's happening. So, for example, I call CQ. If 3 people respond to me, they just scroll away and they're gone. Whereas if, like in WSJTX or the other apps, in this window, it showed any calls that had my call in it. At that point, I can call them back in sequence. So when one's done, I don't have the other call 60 or 70 calls up in that list. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's a nice day, so I'm gonna play a little FT8, see how that goes. I think I brought the CFT1 with, and if I brought the CFT1 with, that is a radio I want to pull out and do CW with, because that thing is just gorgeous. The sound, you know, if you go back to the basics of how sound actually works, and you have that focus only for a portable radio, the thing is amazing. It's probably the best $400 I've ever spent on a radio, as far as value goes. Some comments on the zBitx. I go online and I see what some of the people are saying about it. I think there's kind of a misconception as to how this radio works, what it's for, or what its purpose is. If you're a tinkerer, if you like to play with things, if you're a developer, 100%, if you just like to do the what-if scenarios, if you like to experiment, this is a great radio for that. Now, if you're looking for just an affordable radio that you want to be your primary field radio, this is not that, in my opinion. If you're looking for that sub $200 portable radio that you could do FT8 with, or sideband, or CW, in my opinion, 100% QMX. It does everything well, whereas this is fun. It's great to tinker with it, but I would never pick it to be my primary radio. So again, that's just an opinion. So you could do with it as you would. So anyway, I'm gonna get back, do some FT8. Once I've got some contacts there, I'll go ahead and hook up a key to the CFT1, and we'll take a look at that and see how that goes. Oop. So even when it's really weak like this, I can make out the CQ beautifully, even under the natural noise. So there, he heard the 4. So that was a case of there is no way, like trying to do that with the zBitx, there's no way I would have been able to hear that. But I'll just try to put the mic, we can hear it. You can probably hear the rain over the noise from the radio. But this is a QRP station calling from Michigan, you know, and I'm, well, there you go. So that's, there's somebody much closer. Amazing. I cannot say enough good things about the CFT1. If you do portable CW, this is a radio you definitely want to have in your arsenal. It never ceases to amaze me. I don't know if the mic is picking this up, but these are insanely weak signals, but they're still so clear. So there, I mean, that was Alabama, you know, and I'm in, where am I? Massachusetts. Sitting in a park with a white antenna hanging over the gazebo thingy, just having a great time. So one of the things that you just heard, if you're not familiar with this kind of an incredible operator, he was actually going at the speed you're hearing now, but he had a hunter. He had a hunter. So, I don't know if you caught the rate change. So he had a hunter that came in at about 12 words a minute, and he immediately slowed down. If you go back, you'll be able to hear it. He slowed down immediately for that hunter. One of the great things about CW is that the operators, or I should say the activators, are there for the hunters in the way they operate. You know, if they're going as fast as he's going, he's probably going 22 to 24. But when he heard someone really slow, without even thinking about it, he immediately went down to the speed of the hunter. As soon as that QSO was done, he immediately jumped back up to this. Now again though, CFT1, I'm using the CFT, this is the, follow me, it won't follow me. And I can't pick the radio up. Anyway, there you see it. I'm using this, and I just unplugged it. I'll leave it unplugged. I am using the CFT1. This, I don't know, for whatever reason, this radio, I love it. It's every control you need, no controls you don't. The receiver is as good as you are going to find in this type of radio. And you saw it. I'm in horrible weather and trying to talk at the same time, and I'm not good at CW as it is, but yeah, boom, banging out contacts. That was, I thought it was Colorado. It's actually Kansas. So I could not be happier. Again, if there is a radio that I would recommend for somebody that wants to do field CW and get the best performance you can get out of a QRP radio, this is the one, 100%.